it was the Friday before Christmas, and I was scheduled to fly out to go back to Minnesota, which is where I'm from, to spend Christmas with my family. And my flight was canceled because of a blizzard. And so I was at home, and I had noticed early in the day just some strange tingling in my my left foot and leg. But it was so minor, it felt like maybe I had slept on it wrong or whatever it was. I didn't really give it much thought. I went through the whole day kind of replanning my week because it didn't look like I was going to get a flight for a couple days. And that evening, after fixing myself some dinner, I sat down to watch a hockey game on TV. And I'd been sitting there for about an hour, had no symptoms, and then went to get up to let my dog out and couldn't move. And that's the first indication that there was anything wrong. I literally was in disbelief. I'm sitting there looking, and I can move everything on my right side, and nothing on my left side was responding. Fortunately, I had a phone next to me, so I was able to call for help, but I had no typical symptoms, no headaches, no blurred vision, blurred speech, all those things. I didn't have any of that. And so I kind of went into denial. I mean, I didn't believe anything serious was wrong, but it was.
The morning of the stroke, I was April 5th, 1999. It was a rainy day, kind of like today, just getting my kid ready to go to a friend's house. Packed up the car with toys to take to his friends, and I had the headache. I was ignoring it. I was going to go to work after I dropped him off. It was okay. Got in the car, and it was kind of drizzling. He was in the back seat in this child seat because he was not quite old enough to get out of it. And I got on the freeway to a screaming migraine, and I just wanted to get to my friend's house. I drove the car in the rain, a distance of maybe 10 or 11 miles. Got out of the car, and I noticed while I was driving the car that my hand wouldn't stay on the radio button. It would just fall off. And it wouldn't stay on the steering wheel. It would fall off. And I started to feel a kind of heaviness on my left side, but nothing really, no pain really. And then I got out of the car, and my left side was like lead. So just lifting it to get out of the car, lifting my leg, and then I tried to open the trunk to get the toys out. Nothing seemed to work. And I get to the door, and my friend says, "What's wrong with you? Are you having a stroke?" She actually used that phrase, which was just really crazy. And I looked in the mirror, and my left side of my face was like really collapsing. And I said, "Yeah, I think I'm having a stroke. Can you take me to the emergency room?"
The event was a severe cough due to the flu. And during that coughing episode, I had a severe headache. And that headache was caused by the spontaneous rupture of the blood vessel in the brain. And from there, I started noticing that I was drooling on the left side of my mouth. And after that, I lost my balance. I was going back and forth off walls, and then I finally fell down on the floor and couldn't get back up.
I have a clot in my left artery, and go to ambulance, and doctor says, "Hey, stroke," and I'm surprised.
After work, I went for a change, exercise, and I was swimming in the gym. And then I realized I can't swim straight. What's going on? And then I said, maybe I should get out before I'm in trouble. And I went to the edge, but I couldn't get out. And lifeguard came and pushed me, helped me get out.
The day that I had the stroke, we were taking some friends out sailing on San Francisco Bay. And I woke up with a really, really acute headache. And as we were driving down to the boat, I was mentioning to Colin that these headaches were getting worse. And he said it was a holiday weekend. He said, well, if it's still going on after the weekend, I think it's time to go and see the doctor about this. And we'd just left the river and pushing the sail up. And I looked up to see when the sail was at the top of the masthead. And that action completely closed the artery in my neck. And it started off with what felt like pins and needles going up my left arm. I thought I was having a heart attack. And then I just collapsed on the floor. And actually Colin was the one who said straight off, looked at it and said, this has to be a stroke.
Well, we had the strange thing, you get 6 engineers in the boat, none of whom are medics, but all of whom are engineers, and you think it's just hydraulics, we can work this out. And after much beating around the bush, we came to the conclusion it was a stroke, at which point we had to decide what to do. We'd called the Coast Guard. They came out pretty swiftly, actually. In some regards, it was probably a faster trip to the hospital than many. But the horrible moment was deciding, was this stroke caused by a blockage or was it caused by a leakage? Since what you need to do for the either is the opposite. And our guess was that it was actually a blockage, since it was one side and she was still very coherent. So you need blood thinner in a hurry. And we, between us, rounded up 6 aspirin, crushed them up, got her to take them. And later the doctor said that was probably what saved her life.